Hello and welcome to episode 81 of the Talking Wednesday podcast. I hope this podcast finds you well as always. Dexterity Box and Punk Chef 41 bring you the Talking Wednesday podcast. Not as always anymore, but as usual would be this week. Yes. it is us too. So how's your week been, my friend?
Starting to get back to normal routine again, isn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
This week been good. I've been figuring some things out mental health wise, and not been great. Doctors tomorrow, but I'll get it all sorted. It's fine. But I think it's just a mixture. This week have been that kind of like, you know, when you sit down and you stupidly spend too much time in your own head with your own thoughts and you overthink everything. So I've been doing that this week, and it's been a little bit of a mind F. It's not been fun. So having to deal with that. Luckily, I've got little one back in school, start school next week, so I get a week to just do things and be happy. She's done my head in. She really has. I love her to death, but she's done my head in.
You chose to have a child.
I know I chose to have a child. Hey, when you have kids, you'll love it. I sound like Sodding Keegan.
You sound like you love it, don't you? I can't wait for it to go back to school.
I do love it to death, but you know what I mean. But yeah, it's been an interesting one. I've got something planned for next year. Fingers crossed they'll go. You know what they are, which will be good. But yeah, it's been good. How's your week been?
I got ill again. I'm kind of concerned about my health at the minute. I keep getting ill.
Your immune system needs some work, buddy.
It's always been crap. I got glandular fever when I was like 17, and then ever since then it's been awful. But I don't know. I think the couple of bouts of COVID have properly kicked it out of me, and I've just been getting ill. Like last night was the first night I've had a decent night's sleep and feel alive enough today to actually. I don't know what's going on with me at the minute. I'm looking after myself to an extent, but I don't know. I'm not even as busy as I usually am. I'm about to be as of next week, so that's going to be fantastic. I was speaking to someone that says you're probably literally just burning yourself out and running yourself on that. There's like that. It's not adrenaline, so to speak, but there is like there's something that's produced chemically when you're sort of like overly stressed and you're working really hard, and then as soon as you relax, it goes and you get really ill. Yeah, but I don't know. I am just getting ill all the time. So hopefully that's not going to be a thing that affects me too much longer. It is, yeah, because I can't be productive, but I also can't relax. When you're ill on your relaxation days, that's really quite frustrating because you get yourself better to just go and work yourself again. Do you know what I mean? But anyway.
Not fun.
Anyway, it's not a moan, that it's just an observation. So yeah. Been a bit poorly this week, but yeah. Got some things to do, got some work stuff on later in the week, as it all picks up properly. So I don't know.
Can I just have something here for the Discord as well? Can we start having random topics again?
Yeah.
For this bit, please, because it helps.
Yeah, it does.
It helps us like have something a bit
spicier at the start of the podcast. Yeah, to be honest, there's part of it there. I need to start putting the threads back out and stuff. We've got a whole plan from like September onwards.
Yes, we have.
When Jake's no longer got child around constantly, we will start putting a bit of we'll go on the school calendar, shall we, Jake? And we'll from September onwards we'll start putting some plans back in action. But yeah. No, other than that, it's been decent. When did we last podcast? Was it
8th.
Thursday?
It's the 8th. If you look at your Discord, it'll tell you what time we spoke because it's got an indication of when we had calls.
When did we do it?
The 8th of the 24th. 24th of the 8th because it's American.
I was going to say, you're reading it.
That's today even. 18th of the 8th. Jesus Christ.
No, it would have been the 24th.
No, it would be the 24th, yeah.
Yeah, so it was Thursday,
Never mind. Yeah.
Yeah. But now we're back on our Monday schedule, which is good. But yeah, what did I do for the weekend? Oh no, obviously
you went to a football game.
Yeah, obviously you go to the match. That kind of like just becomes the norm though. So you forget that you go to the match. Sunday was yesterday. I went to see my sister because I was working through a birthday. She came back, but I was massively overworked. So it was like, oh hi, I'm sort of I'm sort of stressed.
Yeah.
Can't really do it. So we chose a day to go and celebrate her birthday properly, and we did that yesterday. So that was nice. But yeah, I didn't feel amazing when we were doing it, so I sort of like I just paracetamol myself up and went, yeah, let's go. But yeah, that was nice. And then today, just getting a lot of life admin done.
Yeah.
Trying to sort out travel and cars and
#travel,
everything.
#car.
Indeed. But that's all the boring life admin stuff out of the way. You had anything interesting since I last spoke to you on Thursday?
Apart from I had a massive complete computer crash. It just died and I had to take it apart, and I got a free computer case as well off someone, so I'm going to be remaking that up, which will be nice. Like my uncle, he lives near Studentville, where he lives, and this bloke always comes around and goes, "What do you think this is? I don't know what it is." And they thought it was a DVD video cassette holder. And I just opened the boot and went, "What's this?" I went, "That's a PC case. That's mine." Yoink.
That's theft. But yeah, okay.
Richie,
very nice. I don't do PC.
Like, I know you don't. You're fully console.
I'm not fully console. I've got a gaming laptop. But I don't understand why when you're PC gaming, things just crash.
You just want it to work, don't you, mate?
Yes. It's like I'll play something through Games Pass on the PC and it'll just crash. And I'm like, I play the same game on the console and it doesn't crash. And technically, my laptop's probably a little bit more powerful than quite a lot of consoles, but it just crashes.
My issue with doing PC gaming, it's an issue I've had for a while. It's the same reason why I use Mac to do my editing. I get so frustrated with PC, just random drivers not working and dying, and then having to find different drivers to work for things. As much as using a Mac, it's a fancy way of editing if you know how to use a Mac, and it's like people use it for the brand. If you can edit on a PC, do so. It's a lot cheaper going down the line because you can replace parts and stuff. If it goes wrong, you can refix it. But at the same time, if you have to go and do, say you're on Adobe, it's like 50 quid for the 50 quid a month. Yeah, I can pay 300 and get Final Cut and I'm done.
Yeah, well, it's like I've not got my Mac with me. So I edit everything on Apple software. I really like Apple software. I like Logic. I like Final Cut. I'm really, really quick with those tool stations. I hate using Adobe stuff. But a lot of the industry has just sort of like got themselves into using Adobe. Yeah. But I think, I don't know, I find I can be more creative with plugins for the Apple stuff. And it just, it works better. And I always find it a lot more streamlined and I can make better content. It's like today, I've got to edit on PC, which I hate. So this podcast has got to be edited on PC. So nothing fancy gets done to it. It just literally goes in and bounces.
Yeah.
Which is... I do need to invest in a MacBook because I've got an iMac station that I use everything for. I do need to get a MacBook because I could do all my work on the fly. But they're so expensive, you know, and that's the issue. Yeah.
You want something worth what you do.
To get what I need it to do, it would be a couple of grand. And it's one of those where it's probably going to need to be done at some point.
Could you not?
I don't like it.
Could you not also just get like a Mac Mini and just carry it with you and then just plug it into a monitor?
No, because if you do that, you need to take a keyboard and a mouse with you.
Yeah, true.
I still sometimes do that, right? Because if we're recording drums, I'll take a Mac Mini to a rehearsal studio, and because I've got some drum mics, and I will literally plug my Mac Mini into my audio interface, because I've got a 12 track, I believe it's a 12, because I wanted 4 extra ports on it, and we plug straight into that, and I will take my Mac Mini, and my Mac Mini will go in there, and I'll set up like a little station, and it's a cheaper way than me buying studio time to get drums done.
Yeah, makes sense.
But it's very impractical. It would be so much easier to just take a MacBook and plug the audio interface straight into that.
Yeah.
You know?
Take a MacBook and a dongle and you're sorted.
Or being able to edit this to the same quality I can edit it when I'm at home. Or even when I'm like, redoing the graphics or redoing... Because obviously I actually can't do any graphic work, when I'm making like the intros and stuff, because I can't use motion when I'm... So...
I'm learning motion at the moment, and I'm getting very frustrated with it.
Yeah, it's fun. You can do a lot with it. You just got to be... Again, it's a tool, isn't it? And a tool's only as good as you get with it. So, yeah, anyway, that's enough. Let's get into the actual podcast, shall we?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's not talk a load of crap at the start of this one. So, I know some people just tune in for that. I'm aware. Yeah. Appreciate it. There's some grumpy people that wish we'd not talk about anything but the football.
I'm going to let you take the lead on this one, because...
No.
Do you want to...
No, we're not breaking tradition. We're not breaking tradition. It's just because I vlogged it.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where people go, because I ask people have been messaging me going, is he going to take the lead on because you vlogged it? It's like, you get a vlog from it, perfect.
Well, otherwise I just do it.
The right one to vlog though.
I do it every because the thing is, I go to matches anyway. So it's but the podcast still goes in the same format. I just don't vlog everything. We've had it before where we've messaged each other, and I'll say, that would have been a good vlog for you, that Matt, which we've been to. And then we've done one where it wasn't great, and then you got the right one to vlog this time. Yeah, exactly. Usually it's because I decided to do a vlog early on this year because usually I kind of just want to sit and enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's what I've said all the time.
Shall we talk about it then?
Usually I'm knackered. But yes, let's talk about Forest Green. Let's talk about Forest Green in the same tradition we always would do. If you would like to see my live reaction to everything, go and look at the vlog on the Dexterity Box channel, because I did vlog this one. And what a video, what a day to actually vlog the match. It was a good one. But yes, carry on, Jake.
We really came out the trap strong. We really did. They didn't offer much. And the nice thing about this game was that we're going into it with a little bit of confidence, and I did speak to some Winter fans that was like, at Forest Green, we'll probably turn them over, or at Forest Green, we're going to get done over because that's what happens. That was last year's mentality when we came across the team. But Jesus Christ, we started well, didn't we? Like, Palmer should have had 2 goals in this game. Just saying. He should have had 2 goals and upped his tally. Because that shot was very good. And the fact he's getting forward. And again, we spoke about it last week. How good is Liam Palmer getting? He's like getting better with age. He's just a really good player to be in this squad. And I think we're very thankful to have a player like him. And one of the things that I want to say here, I know I was criticised him in the past because I said a stupid comment about him. No one gives Josh Windass any credit for his vision and his passing. That pass and that vision to know where Barry Bannon was superb. Like, they put something up today where you see it.
Yeah,
the actual ball. And
this match felt weird in a lot of aspects, because some of the goals, the rebounds that go in, I'm kind of like, when those happen, it just seemed to... This is really bad to say because I'm not trying to disrespect the club here, but it seemed too easy that they were goals. Yeah. I'm looking for a flag or something. It's like, I remember when Bannon's goal went in, I was like, where's the flag? Or because we had a couple of rebound goals in this match, and I was like, the flag's got to be... We've scored way too easily there. How's that happened? It's just...
You're waiting for that flag to go up. And then you get Palmer's goal. Now, Palmer, again, it's a little bit like Jack Hunt last season, where they both got 2 and 2 kind of thing. And I love the fact that he went to celebrate with Hunt. Now, people go with this whole thing, they're at competition for places. I don't see that at competition for places here. I think Wednesday, as a group, have got it that whoever's in is good for the team. It's what Darren wants in the squad, if that makes sense. I don't see that there's a competition, or like, like you hear about at some club where they get annoyed because a player's starting ahead of them, or they think they're better. I don't think there's that ego or mentality in it. And then Lee Gregory to get that goal as well and get him off the mark for a season was superb. And it's just, it wasn't Lee Gregory. It actually was an own goal in the end, wasn't it? Did he get clapped?
Yeah, I didn't know this until after. I didn't know this until after the fact.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But at the same time, we played some really good football, like really good football, and it did tail off near the end because job was done. But Wilt coming on, Wilt looked really good, and if that goal had gone in at the end, that would have been a one way to have your debut. I don't know how you feel.
I think it's a very different experience because I was excited to see Wilkes come on, and I wanted to see more from him there, obviously. And I know you could see he was eager. He's running for everything. He needs to keep that up. It's not about getting a goal in your debut. It's about keeping that intensity that he showed there, and he showed flashes of quality when he came on. Obviously, wanted the selfish dig at the end when he went for the shot. I understand it. Do you know what I mean? We already plenty of goals. I actually heard someone walking out of the ground go, "Oh, that Malik Wilkes looks so selfish taking a shot there." I was like, what do you want, mate? He's on his debut. I'm like, Wednesday fans, they never cease to amaze me when I'm hearing the conversations walking out. But I think it was weirdly, by the time it got through the second half, you don't usually get the adrenaline of a Wednesday match where you're like, oh, how are we going to mess this up? We were coasting it so easily, it actually got boring, which is fantastic. You know? The fact that you can sit there going, oh, this is a bit boring now. We've battered these. Yeah. You know, I'm just sat watching the rest of it. Is a very odd feeling to have when you're watching Sheffield Wednesday, but enjoyable.
Very much so. And as Joe Cran's pointed out, Dominic Iorfa was at his best that game.
Well, I know Joe's put all the stats in there, but the one thing that you can just tell from looking at him, you don't even need to look at his stats to know how assured he has looked on the ball.
He's confidented back.
Yeah. The way he was running out of the defence like he used to, you know, and taking it forward, and there's a trust in that defence coming back, you know. Some of the stats that Joe was talking about, he's talking about he had the most touches, 79, and more possession, 7.4% than any other player on the pitch. This is in the Forest Green game. He's won 100% of his aerials, 100% of his tackles, and has a 93 pass completion rate. They're great stats. For me, it was just the confidence on the ball and the fact that he was coming out of that defence and linking things up and making things happen. He's kind of that player who would run to the other side, the opposition's box, and give it a go. You know. Yeah. And he just needs the confidence back there. And yeah, he's looking a lot more composed on the ball. So long may that continue, because he was dipping a little bit. So it'd be good to see it come back. He got
confidence back, and it got to be hard when you've had that injury layoff, like him and Windass had, trying to figure out if you're going to have that spark back. And the fact that his spark's starting to come back and starting to look like the Iorfa is old is fantastic.
Can I also say, what a signing Mark McGuinness might be? Because he's that understated centre-back that just comes in and does the job. Yep. You know, he doesn't look like a weak link at all. He just looks like, do you know that kind of player that's just on the pitch and you don't really notice them, but they're doing their job? Yeah. And that's the best compliment I could pay, because, like, he's just doing his job. You're not worried about any player. He's solidly doing his role, and that's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, God. I think... Hang on. I believe a nephew is downstairs whacking on a drum kit. Oh, no. It shouldn't pick up on the podcast, but we'll see. I
got some sort of annoying drilling there, but it shouldn't pick up on either.
It's all right. We'll keep the podcast rolling. Keep talking. I'm just going to send a quick message going, can you just please make sure nobody's on the drum kit while I'm doing a podcast, please?
It's going to be very interesting when they do in the next couple of days as well, because I think transfer window shut Thursday, and there's not much more I think we need. I think we're pretty much there or thereabouts. And much of people go like, oh, it's only Forest Green, but you can only beat what's in front of you. Yeah. Forest Green had actually started okay, considering they come up from League 2 last season.
They just didn't look like they had a plan on the pitch. You know, their fans were hilarious. Like I love it when fans are getting that, when the team's getting that battered, that the fans cheer when they even have get a corner. The eruption that they went up when they got a corner and stuff. I find that funny. But yeah, they just didn't look like they had any clue on the pitch whatsoever how to deal with it. You know, and we were just dancing circles around them, which is. I don't want to see them go down. You know, I want to see them actually have a good season. So hopefully this is just a blip in the road for them. They're going to come across tough teams like that. We've just got to make sure we can put those sort of performances in. Because weirdly, I said in the vlog afterwards that was Sheffield Wednesday at their best. Yeah, some of our attacking play was, But I don't even actually I probably don't even feel like we had to get to the higher standards that we sometimes have to show, because we were finding it a little bit too easy.
Yeah.
So, which I will take all day, you know.
Also, special mention for Backinson. He's looking like a quality signing.
Yeah. Very good. I love our midfield at the minute. Our midfield looks fantastic. Let's do the League One review and the roundup for the week anyway. So Accrington Stanley played Exeter City. That ended 0-0. Plymouth beat Bolton. Plymouth were at home. They beat them 2-0. Bit of a action-packed one at Cambridge United against Burton. That was 4-3 with a Burton red card. Red cards again at Cheltenham and Oxford. Oxford beat them 2-1 away from home.
Red card again.
Red card again for Peterborough here. 2-1 Derby there. Derby winning at home. Obviously Wednesday beat Forest Green 5-0. Portsmouth winning on the road at Port Vale 1-0. Bristol Rovers and Shrewsbury were 1-1. And then we've got MK Dons away from home at Morecambe beating them 4-0. So MK Dons trying to get that form back, trying to get the results on the board. Ipswich Town and Barnsley ended in a 2-2. We're the same with Lincoln City and Fleetwood, and then Wycombe Charlton ended 1-1. So a few draws to round out there. It's still quite open in this league. You know, Wednesday are up there now. We're third, I believe.
Yes, I think we are. And MK Dons might be looking over their shoulder a little bit. There's talk. If they go for it, but there is talk that Sunderland may poach their manager. It's all gone a bit wrong again.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second, actually. It's not in the document, but that's a bit of a weird one. So, yeah, Wednesday are third with 13 points. That's 1 point off top. Portsmouth and Ipswich are joint top with 14. First and second, obviously, with the goal. There's only a goal. They've got the exact same goal difference. It's just Portsmouth has scored one more goal. Yeah. So
annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, Portsmouth and Ipswich literally. I've said it about Portsmouth this season, Anna. You got to watch them. You got to watch them.
The thing is, but they are a team that start off well and then dip. So it's just see what happens.
So the top six currently is Portsmouth, Ipswich, Wednesday, Peterborough, Plymouth, and Derby. So, and there's only 3 points between that top six. In the first 6 games. You don't really look at the table at this stage, but it is definitely where we want to see Wednesday in and around for the rest of the season. So keep it going, Wednesday. I'm optimistic thus far. Yeah, let's talk about that, actually. Before we get into the Wednesday news, let's talk about that Alex Neil going to Stoke from Sunderland.
Sounds a mess. Sounds an absolute mess. Apparently he criticised with lack of signings or lacking not wanting the signings he want, but they've got like the third most bent this season. The Netflix people are in the door at the moment at Sunderland. That could have been an issue. He might not wanted to sign off on that, but look at where they are. It's weird.
I don't see Stoke as an upgrade on Sunderland.
No.
I don't. You know, it's a weird one for me. So there must be something more behind the scenes there.
And I can understand why they're so angry, Sunderland fans. It feels very much the same when we had it with Steve Bruce.
That was a bit worse. I still think the way Bruce went was ridiculous. Because Bruce left us in the absolute mud.
But also with Sunderland, I think they were talking about sorting out a contract or something of that nature.
Well, they offered him an improved contract when he said he wanted to leave. They offered him an improved contract, tried to keep him. So it's a weird one. That one. It's a very sideways step. Be good, isn't it? Yeah, it's a very sideways step to go to Stoke because arguably.
Can he do it on a Tuesday night at Stoke?
Arguably a Sunderland a bigger club than Stoke.
We'll let the comments decide.
Yeah. You decide that in the comments. Okay. Into the news this week. Silla So leaves Wednesday. There's more to this, but we'll talk about it in a second. So this is from the Wednesday website. Quote, Owls forward Silla So has joined Dutch side De Graafschap on a permanent transfer for an undisclosed fee. The 26-year-old moved to Hillsborough in August 2021 and has made 23 appearances in all competitions for Wednesday. The striker has scored 5 goals for the club in total, including won in our 2-0 Carabao Cup first round victory over Sunderland earlier this month. The Dutchman will move back to his native land to represent De Graafschap, who ply their trade in the second division of the Dutch League. We would like to thank Silla for his services and wish him all the best for the next stage of his career. Now, end quote. Now, apparently he's not going there, even though both clubs have announced it. And the Star are saying that he's actually going to Go Ahead Eagles. We're not going to read the Star article because we've also heard a bit about this. What's been heard is it's the situation where the club accepted both offers, right?
Yeah.
And the players decided to make the switch. That's what it's looking like at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, it's seeming like Monday he turned around to the chat and gone, look, I'm actually going to this club. They are in the Eredivisie, so their version of the Premier League. So they are the higher club. I get that. But it seems a little bit misguided from when to turn around and say on the website he's agreed he's going here. But then if you look at the actual De Graafschap bit, it does say on their website, once you translate it, to a positive medical being passed. So he technically hadn't agreed yet. We just agreed a fee by the sounds of it. And we've just got it, right? It's the usual, he's left, gone, see you later. Like, it's very bizarre. And it's really bizarre, and good luck to him wherever he goes. But he could put himself in a really bad situation if something doesn't go right at, say, Go Eagles. Because say if he, you know what I mean? Where does he go then?
I do know what you mean. It's he's a cult figure in a lot of our fan base. So you got to be careful what you say. But like it's a lot of drama over a player who's not played a lot. Do you know what I mean?
This should be a very simple transfer. There's the money. There you club buy.
But it's got.
Do you think we accidentally put him on eBay and someone sniped with a better offer?
It's just one of the. It's like a FIFA transfer, isn't it? Yeah. It's like where you just accept all the club offers and you let the player make the decision because you can't be bothered.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, he's gone. He's not going to be a Wednesday player anyway, unless it all collapses, which could still be the thing. It could all collapse this, and he could end up having to stay at Wednesday. But it's likely he'll go to Go Ahead Eagles. If
you saw his face on the Palmer photograph, I'd hate to see his face afterwards. Because on that Palmer photograph, he did not look happy.
That's weird, though, isn't it? Very weird. Right, let's talk about a player incoming rather than one outgoing. But yes, Silaso, thank you for your time at Wednesday. Servitors. I'm sure some people will be crying about that one for quite some time. It was quite funny because if you read the Twitter on the De Graafschap page when he left, like all the Wednesday fans sort of, I think the team thought they were getting like this elite player that every Wednesday fan was like, oh my God, he's going. They didn't realise that it was more of a cult thing rather than him actually being a world beater. And they were like, oh my God, we've actually stolen this really good player from a team. And like Sheffield went and that's not specifically what happened, which made it funnier. Right. So this broke just before the podcast. Yep. A little bit of a pause there. Sheffield Wednesday have signed Alex Myton from Nottingham Forest. Let's read this directly from the Wednesday website. Quote, Alex Myton joins Owls on loan. The Owls have signed Alex Myton on a season-long loan from Premier League side Nottingham Forest. Myton, a rapid winger, rose through the ranks at the City Ground, impressing at all academy age groups. The 20-year-old went on to make his senior debut for Forest from the bench in September 2019 at the Emirates Stadium against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup. His first start came in the FA Cup following in the following January at Stamford Bridge when the Midlanders visited Chelsea. Myton penned a contract extension with Forest in August 2020, keeping him at the City Ground until the summer of 2025. The exciting wideman has honours on the international stage, having played for England at under-15 levels all the way through to under-20s. He debuted for the under-20s in September 2021 in a 6-1 win over Romania. Mighton, who is also eligible to represent the USA, as he was born in Connecticut, has posted 54 appearances for Forest to date. Welcome to Wednesday, Alex.
He will also wear the number 45 shirt.
Forestieri's number. Brave.
Yeah.
That is brave.
This is... I'm still not 100% sure how he got this deal. Kind of thing. This has got to be the Darren Moore kind of convincing because he's a very good player. I would have thought he would have easily gone to a championship club.
It's a very good signing.
Personally.
It's also one of those signings like we don't play wingers.
Yes, it's a formation change coming.
That's what everybody's saying. But is it a sort of... I don't know.
He never played wing-back, apparently. When I looked it up on Transfer Marketplace, he never played a wing-back role. So
but then again, hang on. Then again...
Forest do play a similar...
Remind me, how did we start against Peterborough before Reece James got the... Were we still playing 5 at the back again in that match?
I think Johnson was playing as the... because Johnson went back into being into what do you call it position.
That's what I'm. Did we start with a 4 or did I don't know because he moves the formation about and changes his mind so much.
It could be that we're changing to a different formation at the back. Yeah, because then you probably put Wilkes one side, Might on the other, and you then have whoever in the middle.
I kind of like the 5 in some scenarios now, but everybody is target. Even Forest Green ineffectively targeted Marvin Johnson.
Yeah.
So it's been sussed, and Darren's seen that it's been sussed. So you kind of play further forward. If we're playing a 4-3-3, this is fantastic. But then again, where do your players sit then? Can you even do that really? Can you put? You've got Windass to think about. If you're playing a front 3, you put Mighton on the left. Who? Gregory in the middle. Wilkes on the right. Then where does Windass fit into that? Unless Windass drops into midfield and sort of sits in the centre of that. But then we've got. So that's why
it's a lot of good options to have now, but it is also a headache at the same time.
Yeah, which is fantastic. But if he is an out-and-out winger, the reason I'm questioning it is I doubt he's come just to sit on the bench for when we change the formation halfway through a game.
Yeah.
So there must be more to it.
I feel like they're trying to do what they did with Brennan Johnson. Like, Brennan Johnson went on loan to Lincoln City for a season and did well, and then he got into their first team. And look at where he is now. He was outstanding in the Championship that season. Now they've got another player who's similar, who's got the connections. I believe it's his godfather, Dev Walker. So there might have been a flea in the ear from him going, look, you're signing here. I don't care who else says you go and you're signing here. Go. So it's a very good bit of business, and I think we're probably only 1 or 2 away now from being done.
And to be honest, I think we would be done if it weren't for injuries. Yeah. So yeah, I think that would be a good close to the transfer window if it wasn't for injuries. But you're probably right. We need to bring cover.
I always sign him on loan in FIFA.
Yeah, at least you mentioned FIFA before I did this time. We are going to get a couple of thoughts from the community on it because we put a tweet out as this was announced as the podcast were going on. But let's have a quick look at his FIFA card because we'd already prepped it because he was linked with us. So this is last FIFA. I'll do you a new ratings video as I always do when they come out because the ratings haven't changed. So Mighton is a 67 silver with 85 pace, 55 shooting, 56 passing, 73 dribbling, 27 defending, 46 physical. Decent for a career mode, especially at 20 years old. Very decent. And if you can sign him permanently, him and Wilkes, I would try and buy him straight away and just have him and Wilkes in your team and just see the value rise and rise and rise.
Pace merchants this season on FIFA?
Pretty much. We've actually got playable players, which is fantastic because FIFA is all about pace. So the fact that they are playable in that regard is great. But yeah, we quote tweeted and asked what some people in the community thought about it. Mac wrote in and said, "Football Manager legend, legend, unreal bit of business from us." So positivity there. JP wrote in and said, "Good signing. Let's see if he can live up to the hype." And then SWFC said he called it back in May.
He's very happy,
and he did call it back in May. He showed his tweet. Yeah. It is a FIFA signing. It's a FIFA signing that we've actually done though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, are you happy with this one?
Yeah, very. I think this shows a lot of credit to Darren Moore again. And the one thing we keep hearing, the manager said this and said, what are we going to do? I think last season we had bits of that, but you didn't hear like that from like a Theo Corbyn. It was like, oh, I'm just happy to be here. It's like he sat down, he spoke to him. And I think it's a player who Forest will want to monitor and see how he does. And I think they use this method already in getting a player up to where they want him. So I think they're just trying to see if it's tried and tested and it happens again. But absolute cracking bit of business.
Is he going to try him at wing back?
I hope not.
I hope we're going to play wingers.
I want wingers.
Our defence does look quite assured with the defence, because if you look at our midfield, I understand why he wants to play. If you look at that 5 a little bit more now, you can understand, because he wants one of those centre backs to be able to run through and link with that quality in midfield and bring it all the way through midfield and have a solid spine through the team. So I can see what he's doing there, but to have options are what you need to turn games on their head. So
it's also a good competition for Marvin Johnson.
Yeah. Johnson's a good player. I rate Johnson. He just needs to.
So
he is being targeted defensively, so the light is going to be shone on him a lot more. So we need to take that pressure off him. Him playing left wing back and being exposed there defensively isn't fair on him, really, because he did come on leaps and bounds last season. So we need to make sure that we're not applying unnecessary pressure to him and making sure we have options for that. So it's not always, let's attack Marvin Johnson down that side.
Yeah, definitely.
This is from the Star. Moving on from the Mighton story. Quote, Sheffield Wednesday may have to steel themselves for late Lee Gregory pursuit. Derby County keen. There were reports earlier in the summer that a host of clubs from both the Championship and League One were interested in the 34-year-old striker, with his former club Derby County still big fans of his. The Rams are no longer under embargo after the situation regarding their ownership was sorted out last month, and the Star understands that they may be considering a late bid for Gregory in an attempt to bring him back to Pride Park. End quote. I'm not reading the rest of the article. This ain't happening.
This ain't happening, but the thing is, I still think they're under embargo. I'm sure they still can't sign him for 2 years.
I don't think they can pay fees, but then again...
but they would have to pay a fee. That's the thing. Chansiri would not let Lee Gregory leave for nothing.
This is what I'm saying. Why are we even entertaining this? Because you wouldn't, what are you going to do? A sell-on for him? It's also a case of, why would we need to take him off the books?
Yeah, he can't be on that much.
Not even that, though. He's scoring for us. He's one of our better players. It makes no sense, this.
No.
Whatsoever.
It's one of those ones where you look at it and you go, they might want him or they like, but he ain't going. Yeah. He said he's happy in Sheffield.
This will probably be a breakout, and if it actually happens, we're going to look like absolute mugs, but that's what you take when you do podcasts,
But there's the thing, he's happy in Sheffield. He said that one of the reasons he signed it was it being back home.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So it's an odd one. I just don't see what they can offer. It's not like in, say, the NFL where you did do the draft. We can give you, the number 1 pick to go get the best college person in football, in American football next season. It's not like we will want money. And the problem is, I don't think they can pay it.
We've not let anyone go. We've not let anyone go on these deals. It's all been undisclosed fees. It's all been fees for players. So I agree. I don't think it'll happen. Yes, we've got Smith. Yes, we've got Wilkes. But technically, in terms of natural strikers that are number 9s, you've got Smith and Gregory.
That's it.
So why would you get rid of one of them? It's not like you're trying to ship one off your books, is it?
If anything, we probably need another, Mighton lone striker just in case.
Because Smith's obviously injured. He's coming back, but and Gregory's had injuries and knocks.
Yeah.
And he's 34. You'd possibly sell him at 34 as a payday if somebody wanted to come in and offer you 800k for him, and you were like, "Oh, that's a bit of money for a 34-year-old. We'll take it." Derby can't do that.
But one of the best single scoring records was last season.
Yeah, I don't think
one appearance of 17. I can't see it happening.
He's happy here.
Yeah,
I think a lot of our players are happy here. The only one I'd be slightly concerned about would be the Deli Basharu thing, which we'll talk about in a second. But Yeah, I can't see this happening. I think Lee Gregory will remain a Wednesday player. It's promotion rival as well, technically, with Derby. So
yep.
It makes less and less sense, especially after the season he had with last season. So I don't see him moving on, but it's football. It can happen.
Anything can happen in 24 hours.
It also, there could be part of like, I know it's been reported and stuff like that, but this could just be his agent trying to get him a new contract.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, because he's not on the longest contract. Doesn't it expire this summer for Gregory?
And also, if they wanted him to stay, they could have kept him like the season that he got on loan from Stoke. They could have put a deal in and try and bought him because they weren't under any embargo then.
Yeah, I can't see it happening.
No.
This is from the Examiner Live. Sheffield Wednesday boss Darren Moore provides for Sayo Delibashiru injury update. I'll just take the key parts out of there because he was talking about him after the Forest Green game. Quote, Delibashiru, has got a sore hamstring and a kick on his ankle, said Moore. We will assess him Monday. Hopefully he won't be out too long. It's only a strain. I didn't want to risk him against Forest Green. We will let him recover and get over it. It's not just one game. We have got a multitude of games and we need everybody. End quote. So, yeah, there's no more from Moore in this article. Well, there is a little bit. It's about Wilkes, but nothing about Delibashiru in there. A lot of people were saying before, oh, is he off then? We've been hearing he's off. Is he off if he's not in the squad? It was reported also before it was an injury. It was a slight knock. So I wasn't too concerned to see him out of there. Your thoughts?
I'd rather us protect him and make him... What you notice is Darren Moore doesn't take risks with players' injuries. In the past, we've had managers who go, oh, we'll just take a risk and hope it pays off. He doesn't do that, and that's because I think when he was at Everton, he had a big injury himself, so he knows what it's like as a player if you don't recover right. Now, the thing with Dele and the whole contract situation and bids, we know we've already turned down bids for Blackpool, and they've been knocked back. Bristol City were apparently interested. When interviewed at the weekend, Nigel Pearson kind of went, oh, it must be Tariq Backington's agent getting at him. Slight dig there. Still not got over the fact that whole situation, which I think we're going to... This one... For me, if he doesn't go in this window, and I don't want him to go, like we said last week, 3 million, probably a good price plus a sell-on. Whatever we've got to pay for Man City, because there is money we have to pay to Man City. As soon as the window's shut, you ramp up these negotiation talks and get it sorted, because he could have a Liam Shaw style situation if he goes international, and we don't want that again.
Yeah. I've thought about this more, and because of the year on the contract, I would potentially take 2.
Yeah.
I'd take 2 for it, and then you're making, depending on the sell-on size, like you're making $1.5 million. That is a lot of money at League One level, right?
Yeah.
The only reason I'd value a player that highly when you're in League One is because he's at the prime age for everything, potential-wise. You do need to get a return on him. Otherwise, you might as well just get another year out of him.
But you also then whack on a 20 to 35% sell-on fee.
You try your best with it, because it is a case of, do you just risk it for a year? Do you remember when there was talks about somebody coming in for Windass for like 2 or 3 million?
Well, there is a...
We'll talk about... I mean last season. When there was talks of somebody coming in for him for 2 or 3 million, and we said, I think even 4 to 5, it's like, what is he worth to you? And Chancellor was like, well, 5. Because his goals, obviously got injured, but his goals for us, he's worth to us 5 because that's the price of his goals. Coming, how do you replace him? Yeah. So, Delibashiru, we've got a strong midfield, so if we have to sell him, that is football, But I feel like this could relate quite heavily to what we're going to talk about next. So there's been a little bit of tampering going on, allegedly. This is from Examiner Live again. Quote, angry Sheffield Wednesday boss Darren Moore addresses his transfer interest in Owl Stars. This is from they had an interview with him.
Yeah.
And the questions asked were, quote, are there offers on the table for any existing Wednesday players? There have been, and Darren Moore says, there have been inquiries and we are trying to keep that at bay. Can you shed any light on who? No, obviously. The question was raised, how significant are those players? The reply was, they're important players in terms of what we want to do this season. Very important players. When you get the results and we're performing as we are doing, I can understand it. Hopefully we're giving them something to show this is where they want to stay and they'll continue doing what we're doing. But we know football. The question was then raised to him, have those players indicated in any way they want to leave? And then Darren replies, not the players, but I can't speak for their advisors. The players have been very good. Yeah. And then he was asked, how confident are you that you can keep the squad together? And he replied, as of now, I'm confident in keeping the squad intact, but I also understand that 24 hours in football is a long time. We're trying to build something here. They have, and we want them to be a part of it. But I understand football, and that's where we are. I've spoken to their advisors and made it all perfectly clear. The players are fine. It was then asked to him, is it frustrating as a football manager that agents do have an influence on your job and trying to keep everyone together? And then Darren replies, it's part and parcel of football. As long as the players remain professional and keep that consistency, that's what I believe going forward. When advisors come to me and notify me that players are available, I go straight to the manager and ask if that player is available. There was an incident 2 weeks ago where a player came up, a very good player who would have been excellent for us. I went straight to the manager and he said, no chance. That's how I work. As I understand it, where we're concerned here, that's not been the case. It's making sure we keep this group together and give them a vehicle in terms of what we're trying to build at this club. There is a lot of work to be done and we have to keep building. He was then asked, have there been some tactics to try and unsettle your players? Darren Moore replies, I believe so, but I understand that's football. Hopefully the transfer window can finish and we keep everyone intact. We've worked extremely hard to get the balance of this squad right, and what we have to do now is get the consistency. Part of the reason I wanted to do our business early was to get that continuity. And we want the window. We just want the window to shut now. But the window is still open. I bet when I get back to the car, my phone will still be ringing. I took a call this morning from an agent offering players, and they know I never take calls on match days. That's the importance of it. So, end quote. It's a really good interview there at the end of it. So people have been tapping up our players, basically. Not amazing. It happens.
To be fair, I would hate to be on the end of one of those interview or kind of messages from Darren Moore, because it would be nice to a point up until kind of thing. He doesn't crop me the kind of person you want to get on his bad side.
No, I think it's you hear it happen in football all the time.
It's also credit to how well we're doing if people are wanting our players.
Yeah, I think you forget that. You keep adding to the squad and then you forget that players do go the other way. It happens. I'll never forget when Antonio was sold. Yeah. And I just felt the world break at that moment. I was like, what are we doing?
It's annoying because he didn't want to leave. Stuart Gray said he can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great move, wasn't it? Where is he now?
Exactly.
So I think the players are probably Deli Bashiru's advisors trying to get him off.
Yeah.
Maybe. I think it's Josh Windass as well, probably. Somebody.
The one with Josh Windass doesn't put the Instagram post he did at the end of a game. I think that was a bit of a method to his agent going, sod off.
Exactly, because let's talk about that. Then there's a direct link with Josh Windass in all of this. There could be other players that are linked to as well. I know the journalists are currently digging into that. We've not heard specifics yet. We've heard rumblings, but
also, if you noticed, Darren Moore kind of also said at the journalist, well, you're not doing your job. You've been doing very well with what's in, but you haven't done it about coming out. He said, and he kind of did a sly dig, and it was kind of funny.
Yeah, not in the way. I think it's because, in fairness, a lot of the local journalists look at the positivity around the club as well. So there is that. So the Star write, and quote, this is the headline of the article: Sheffield Wednesday's Josh Windass attracts Middlesbrough interest in the final days of the transfer window. The key bit of this article is the Star understands that Chris Wilder is an admirer of the 28-year-old who was subject of interest from Argentina early in the summer. Wednesday have rebuffed all attempts to sign Windass in the past, and it's thought that they would do so again if any offers came in, especially given how important he could be in the promotion for this season, end quote. They'd have to pay a lot of money for him at this stage.
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
And I don't think he wants to leave.
No. We would have to do a Jordan Rhodes on them.
They want Windass, 8 million. There you go.
Yeah.
£8 million for Josh Windass.
And you've got to remember, he's got a year left. He's also got an extra year.
And one of his best mates has just walked in the door.
Exactly. Like, the Instagram post was something along the lines of, it's great playing football with your mates, kind of thing. And he's loving it. You can tell he's loving it. The thing is, what people don't give Josh Windass a lot of credit for, he's actually very intelligent. He reads a lot. He's very well-spoken. And the thing is, there'll be bits of
somebody will reply to that with the Rangers interview he gave a long time ago.
I've seen that he was a young lad when he was at Rangers. I will give you that. You mean the omelette situation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Carry on.
I think but he matured since then.
No, he definitely has. Yeah, definitely.
But the thing is, what you've got is that you've got a player who obviously must have been talking to Wilkes. Like, well known, they're very good mates. In the interview, he even turns around and says, Wilkes, I know Josh for a long time. And they must have been both excited to do this. And also, he could have done something with like a WhatsApp message between those two for the announcement. That would have been awesome. But just saying. The thing is, with the whole situation with the players, it's great when people are coming into the player because it means your squad is doing very well. It means people are liking what you're doing. My number one concern would be a little bit less player, but also keeping hold of Darren Moore. I know Darren Moore wants to stay, but Darren Moore's stock will be rising as well. When I heard Sunderland looking for new manager, I was like, that annoyed me. Because you know what I mean? It's that whole thing of trying to keep each party happy.
I don't think it'd be a good idea for Darren Moore to move on now. Because the thing that's different with here and Donny is he's got a chairman that, I know the chairman backed him at Donny in certain regards, but we've got a bigger capability of backing him here.
Yeah.
And he's finally got a chance with this squad. You know, he's got a real chance.
Yeah.
Whereas, I don't know, Sunderland too, but he's going to find it when he gets in the Championship with any club. You've got that FFP is going to hit you hard no matter how much you want to be backed. So
it's gonna be interesting, but it kind of that whole thing where I'm flattered teams are coming into our player, but can you not? I like Darren. I'd like the window to be shut sooner than later, but like I said, we're probably missing a reserve goalkeeper, and I still say centre back or maybe a lone striker.
Do you think Windass will go?
No, I think he'll stay. I'll put my neck out on the line and say he's staying.
Yeah, I don't think he's going. I can't see it. Why would he want to?
Yeah.
Obviously, Middlesbrough are a good club, but I don't know. There's a real feel good around this squad at the minute, and I do worry about us. I think we do put our foot down and not let players go because you've got to kind of keep it here, unless they're kicking up a fuss. But none of these players seem to be kicking up a fuss. They seem to be enjoying it. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
It's when the heads go down and they start being bad influences on the rest of the team. And we had that. There was a lot of rot at this club. If you look back on it now, the last few Championship years, the rot had's fully set in. And Darren Moore's done a really good job of resetting that. And it's good to see. So, yeah, I think Windass will stay. God, can you imagine the bad takes? Gregory and Windass leave before the window shuts. Whew. Jake, just before we do go into the next matches...
Yes.
Is there anybody you think we should loan out? Like Alex Hunt, maybe, back to Grimsby.
Yeah, Alex Hunt. Yeah, that would be a good one. Him back to Grimsby, probably Ryan Galvin. I don't know why I always say it wrong.
Yeah.
Well, it's me.
I don't think Alex Hunt's going to get into this midfield.
I don't think he's going to get in this midfield, and I'm going to, as much as I said he probably will be about, I don't think he may have a career at Wednesday.
I'm starting to feel that. He needed a break in quicker, didn't he? We've got such a good midfield. Yeah, because the next episode will be after the window shuts, so it'll be more of a review on things. But I think we could do with if in terms of loan outs, probably be a good one.
You either loan him out or you get a fee for him and say that's it, because you've got a midfield here that's going to be here for a while, and I don't see how he gets in.
I agree.
Sadly.
Yeah, it's sad, but it happens, you know. Unless he can really kick on with this loan spell. He probably needs to go on loan to another League One club and see if he can cut it.
Yeah, I kind of said he probably needs to go to like a Morecambe.
Yeah, or even Exeter or something. See
if he can run their midfield.
Yeah.
Because
give it a go.
We've not seen it yet, have we?
We've already loaned Brennan out. Yeah, I think he's probably the only one who goes out on loan.
Yeah.
Because let's talk about the next match. Papa John's Trophy. We're against Bradford. Tonight, the night of this podcast. No, there's no watch along. I'm out this evening doing some work, so there will not be a watch along for this one. But do you want to start seeing Kada Tamari in these fixtures? Because I kind of do.
Yes, I do, because I want to see him get some game time. Because the perfect opportunity for him to play and just get some minutes under his belt and see what he can do. League 2 opposition would be a good test for him as well. But then again, you look, he did play Lewis Cook, who only signed like a day or two before.
Yeah.
So he will use them. So it's a strong possibility that he might do it.
I'd like to see it. It's Bradford come into this. They've got Andy Cook's their top scorer with 3 goals. He's also got an assist.
Yep.
So
I'm going to say this was the Silla So competition, but he's not here anymore.
Yeah, he's not. He's not, is he? But their form doesn't really matter. It's the Papa John's Trophy, so we won't go into their form too much. But they are obviously lower league opposition. We'll see how we get on against them. O'Donnell's still there? No, he's gone.
No, he's gone to Rochdale.
He was at Rochdale, of course he was. We played him there. I knew there was an O'Donnell link somewhere.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the. You see how much my brain's retaining at the minute. It's fantastic. But yeah, I'd like to see us give it a go in this year. If we might as well, or at least give the younger players some proper options for it.
I'd like to see us have a go in the cup competition, just for A, it's good money for the club, and B, it'd be nice to win something.
Yeah, I've not seen Wednesday lift a trophy that wasn't a playoff final trophy.
Yeah,
that's really depressing.
No, I've seen them, but very, very young. 1991.
Yeah, I wasn't alive.
I know you weren't.
So yeah, it would be nice to lift a trophy. Because the actual league title is going to be difficult this year, because Ipswich and Portsmouth are going for it.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how that one goes. But let's go on to our next league opposition. We're at Hillsborough again, and we're against Barnsley. So Barnsley come into this fixture with 16th in League One at the minute.
This is a 3 o'clock kickoff as well.
It is.
Which I'm sure... I know it's not the derby, in a sense, but normally South Yorkshire Police have an issue with this, unless it's been an oversight.
It slipped under the radar, yeah. It's not really...
It's a South Yorkshire derby, but that's about it.
For me, it's not... It's just a... you can't say anything like that. You can't say it's just another fixture, can you? Because people will always have their opinions on it. I'm not bothered about it in the same way I would be if it was Sheffield United or Leeds rocking up. Let's just say that. But it's going to be one that they want to win. They want to obviously make sure they're at the right end of this table. They're currently 16th, so they need to pick it up a little bit. They've got 7 points so far. 2 wins, 1 draw, 3 losses. It's not going amazingly for them as they've found themselves relegated. The home record is 2-0-1, so they've got 2 wins and 1 loss. Their away record is abysmal, though, when they're coming to Hillsborough. They've not won away from home. They've got 1 draw and 2 losses, so 1 point. 1 point on the road. Hopefully we can keep it at that and we can get the 3 points from this one. They've got a -1 goal difference. They've conceded 8 this season. Their last match was a 2-2 draw with Ipswich Town. How do you think we'll get on in this one? What are you thinking? I
think we'll win it, but it can be a tighter contest. That I feel it can be a tight contest personally, just because there might be a bit more up for it because of what the game is. And you know what I mean? Some of those games do that. Like, I'm looking at their fifth. Luca Canelli used to be at Bolton, went to Celtic, come back down. I think Devante Cole was a Wednesday player at one point. I may be wrong on that one. But we got a situation where we can do well here. And you got to remember, they are a club who now they're in that rebuilding stuff with a new manager. Got to remember, Michael Duff came in. It's a new manager, new idea, trying to figure it out. Hopefully get a win because we've got the good home record, and the less we talk about that, the better. But they will get back into game. Because I think the Barnsley Ipswich game, if I'm not mistaken, I think they were losing that game and they came back 2-2. So be interesting.
I want us to win this for one specific reason, and it's calling out a very, very inside joke with a friend of mine, but I'll make it very public. I've a mate of mine, he's not really into football, right? But he used to say for years, if I did support a football team, it'd be Wednesday. I'd taken him to a few games. He'd gone to a few Wednesday games on his own, just to see him.
Yeah.
He met his fiancée a few years ago. Her dad's a Barnsley fan. He now goes to Barnsley games most weeks with him as a bonding experience, and he's a massive Barnsley fan. And he's still not really into football. So I constantly, at every opportunity, remind him that I was like, so you're a Barnsley fan, but if you were to be a football fan, you'd be a Wednesday fan. Is that correct? So
okay, I got something very similar then, which is weird. My brother-in-law, we used to go to football games with his manager who he worked with, who was a Rotherham fan. So he'd go watch Rotherham. He's now with a lass who's a Barnsley fan and goes religiously to home and away games, to Barnsley games.
Yeah, I've got his wedding next month. I'll make sure I mention it at some point. But yeah, that's it. No community topics this week. We will delve into them soon, so make sure you keep them coming in the Discord. But and also leave us some reviews. We did check the reviews. There's not been any. Go leave us all a review. You, right? How many times have you listened to this podcast now and you've not gone on Podchaser or Apple Podcast and just left us a few nice words and a 5-star? Go do it. Thank you. But yeah, that's it for this week's episode of Talking Wednesday. All from me. Have you got anything to add, Jake?
Take care of yourselves, and we'll see where we're at as a club at the end of this window, and hopefully we'll still got the key players we want.
Yeah, big roundup episode next episode, so it'll be fun to talk about. But that is it for episode 81 of the Talking Wednesday podcast. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next episode of Talking Wednesday.
See ya.